Off the challenge of Carlos Sainz to take Britain's first title. Good evening from Donington Park at the end of day one of the Network Q RAC Rally. We'll bring you action from the special stage here later in the programme. But first, that fight for the World Drivers' Championship. It's a head-to-head between the two Subaru drivers, Scotland's Colin McRae and Spain's Carlos Sainz. Despite reports of acrimony, this was the scene between the two rivals before the action began this morning. No team orders on this rally. It's a fight between the two of them. Well, this is the World Drivers Leaderboard before the RAC Rally began. McRae and Sainz level on 70 points. Chester. And it was Colin McRae, last year's winner, who was first off the ramp. Ahead, one of the toughest rallies in the world, but one McRae has to do well in to clinch that coveted world title. This year's rally covers nearly 1,500 miles with 320 miles of special stages. After 7 stages today, the cars move north to tackle 7 more tomorrow, including the run through Pundershaw at 37 miles, the longest stage of this year's World Championship. On Tuesday, the rally plunges into the forests of central Wales, and then on Wednesday there are 7 more stages in North Wales before the return to Chester for an afternoon finish. Well, let's get straight down to the action now. 3 spectator stages before the rally arrived here in Donington, and plenty of incidents for Ivan Gaskell to reflect on.
So, would Britain's favourite rallying son rise to the occasion? The early signs through the Cheshire parkland at Tatton were promising. Colin McRae provided the British fans who'd crowded to see the opening stages with a confident early display. The joint championship leader emerged from stage 3 at Clumber Park, 2 seconds clear of his nearest rivals. The Mitsubishis were expected to go well here, their bid to lift the manufacturer's title in the safe hands of Ericsson and Mackinnon. Ericsson was out to enjoy the opening stages, 3rd overall through Clumber, only 4 seconds adrift of the lead. Tommy Mackinnon was hoping for rain and plenty of it. The only water, though, was in the splash. The Finn completed an impressive early showing for the Mitsubishis with some snappy opening times. Mackinnon within 2 seconds of Colin McRae on the exit from Clumber Park. Of course, the rally is never won on these early stages, but they were to witness the downfall of Frenchman Francois Delacour. He spluttered out of Clumber and out of the event. An eventful start for Richard Burns, forced into a spot of roadside DIY after Tatton. Steering damage left him 1.5 minutes off the pace.
The rally arrived at Donington Park next, where cars made 2 runs through the 4-mile stage. It started and ended on the famous racetrack, but ran off-road in between. It's here we had our specially timed televised section with its own separate trophy for the car recording the fastest combined time for both runs. Here's what happened to the leaders first time through the stage.
This is the man the crowd have been waiting for.
Lower down the field, here's a look at the best of the rest. Again, Barry Gill with David Richards.
Now, let's have a look at Alistair McRae.
You're very athletic. This what's happening, Johnny?
Now, we just caught, when you come to the tunnel, just caught the back wheel on the curbstone. I was just checking it was okay, and it's just caught it. Not a problem. I mean, the Group A rims that we're using, and magnesium rims, so they don't really bend easily.
The intrepid McRae and Tommy Mackinnon. We pick them up at the same point on the stage. Watch how their positions change. Onboard pace notes from Colin's co-driver, Derek Ringer.
Tunnel, 50, Kia, 5 right plus over crest, tightens and 3 left minus, tightens maybe, turn, slow, 3 right, line, and right and crest, and 3 left minus. 200. Keep right into 6 left, opens over crest, 100. turn to right, narrows, 70. To right, open.
A pretty tough job being a co-driver. Well, back to the top cars in action here at Donington Park. Tommy Mackinnon again fastest, his teammate Kenneth Eriksson 2 seconds behind, then Colin McRae followed by Seitz, Burns and Thierry. The end of the day leaderboard sees the Mitsubishis of Tommy Mackinnon and Kenneth Eriksson holding first and second place. Colin McRae 12 seconds adrift, but more importantly, a clear 14 seconds ahead of Carlos Sainz. Then it's Thierry, followed by Malcolm Wilson. Tonight, the drivers are overnighting in Leeds, where our trophy for the fastest time through our televised section at Donington Park will be presented to Colin McRae. And someone else will be heading north soon is Subaru team boss David Richards, who joins me now along with our own Tony Mason and Barry Gill. Pretty good day for your boys, David.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's one of those days that everything can be lost and not an awful lot gained, so I think we're glad to have it behind us.
I wonder whether this is an omen, Jimmy McRae winning the Veterans Rally today.
Well, it's becoming a bit of a family affair, this event, with Alistair still in the top 10 and doing very well as well. So, no, I'm very pleased for Jimmy as well. I think Colin will be delighted with that result today.
Barry, Mitsubishi's very fast today. I don't suppose anybody that's watched them all season will be surprised at that, but that's a tremendous position to be in, 1 and 2.
Oh, tremendous. I mean, I must say I put a bet on Tommy Mackinnon before the event. Sorry about that, Dave. And Kenneth Eriksson, as you said, he's a very good driver indeed, else you wouldn't have signed him. I mean, they're going to be there, and Madeira's up there, but I still fancy Alistair McRae for doing something quite special. There he is with the forwards, doing very well indeed.
Tony, Colin's tucked in there nicely. I mean, that's an ideal position for him to be in tonight, isn't it?
I think so, yes. I mean, David would probably know this. I rather suspect that, you know, Carlos and Colin are concentrating on each other a little bit, and the Mitsubishis are getting ahead there. You wouldn't say that.
No. They're going quite sensibly, and if they can win this rally, they're going to try and win it. But I don't think there's going to be any holes barred tomorrow.
Kenneth Eriksson, though, is on really good form. I mean, I was talking to him, and he's had such a good year in the Far East and all this sort of thing. And I mean, he's really on a high, and his last drive for a manufacturer is always a sort of good position to put in a quick time, isn't it?
No, he's very relaxed.
But Tony, tomorrow, Pundashore and all the really big stages, I mean, that's where the rally perhaps will be won.
Possibly. I certainly suspect that there'll be some drama or other among one of the top seeds in that long Pundashore stage, the 37 miles. Yeah, it's good. I'm really looking forward to that, because it's like the good old days, you know. They used to be that length in our days, didn't they?
This is, in fact, the longest stage of the whole World Championship.
It is, that's right, yeah, it is. There's one in New Zealand, which Colin has made his own over the last few years, but no, 37 miles is quite long. If you think about the tyre problems that they face, and there are lots of issues going to be solved tomorrow.
The only thing to be said for it, it's very smooth, isn't it? I'm told. By Kielder standards.
Well, I don't know. I think Kielder is never been described as smooth, as far as I remember.
But that Motu stage in New Zealand, that's where Colin won the New Zealand rally. That was nearly as long, so you'd obviously expect him to do well there.
He's very good. He has wonderful concentration on these long stages, but we're talking about a stage of quite a different character. Kielder's very fast, sort of quite high-speed straights in Kielder. It's not that twisty, so... And tyre wear and choosing the right tyres for tomorrow is going to be quite interesting, because the weather is drier, more demanding on the tyres than it ever has been on the RAC, to my memory.
Barry, I'm just going to say your tip for the top is Mackinnon to win this rally.
It was, but I'd like to wait till after Pundashore. I mean, let's face it, Pundashore is 8 miles longer than all today's stages put together. And, I mean, the heart obviously wants Colin to win, I have to say that. But, you know, I've got a feeling about Mackinnon, definitely.
Tony, what do you think?
Well, I don't like to say it with present company, but I've actually had my money on Eriksson. I mean, obviously, I hope that Colin...
I'm outnumbered here.
Yes. I mean, I'd love to see Colin win the World Championship, of course. But of course, Carlos is a great friend of mine as well, so my loyalties are split a little bit. But I do feel that Eriksson is on a real high, and I wouldn't be surprised.
So the ideal scenario is possibly Eriksson to win, but Colin to win the world title. We'll have to leave it there, gentlemen. Thanks very much for joining me. Well, that's about all for tonight. Join us again tomorrow at 6:40.